Greetings and welcome, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, to episode 417 of the Words About Games podcast, the weekly gaming podcast for Words About Games. I'm one of your hosts, Amy K. Alexander. I'm joined this week by the German Pokemon master himself. It's Mr. Daffin Moody.
Guten Garden, or whatever the hell they say. I don't know. Howdy doodly do, everybody.
That's what you're looking for.
It's Friday. You know what that means. It's video game day. Go out there, support your video games, have a great time, and be just generally awesome.
Mm-hmm. And read the description of products you buy online twice before you click that order button.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when it still looks sexy, I can't fault it.
And I don't want to forget this week, we're also joined by the only boy himself. It's Vitz Patel.
What's good, gamers? How are we all doing?
Called out 20 minutes into the episode. You know, you never introduce Vitz, right?
It's fine.
How's it going? How's everybody doing? We're here once again.
We're doing good. I want to start things off by giving a shout out to my partner, Lollyfox, who finished Baldur's Gate 3 yesterday. Woo! She is a hero of Baldur's Gate, and I'm so proud.
Hell yeah.
Hey, congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah. I'm still not starting if it's...
As in, you mean to say you haven't started, but you will start.
I did actually start.
No.
Yeah,
what Moody says is, when he says he's going to do these things, what you've got to realize about Moody is he lies.
Yeah.
He's a lot like the Doctor.
Yeah.
Right.
Moody lies.
I say
about
one
these
thing.
things.
If I say one thing, I mean the opposite.
If he says, "Oh, I'm going to look at playing this game," and the runtime is in the double digits or more, I'm just not starting this game unless it's called Yakuza. That's how it works.
Fair enough.
Or Pokemon.
And even then, that burnt me out a little bit. I was hitting the wall. I was like, I'm just going to punch through. Just be the character, whoever his name is, can't remember it right now. Just smash through that wall like he would and do it.
Well, you built up my hopes and dashed them quite expertly, sir. Well,
I might. We'll see what happens in September.
He's doing it right now.
I might get through
hope. Yeah,
he's doing it right now.
See, he's doing it right now.
That right there is what I'm talking about. He's just going to play Dino Crisis 25 times.
There you go.
And they'd be like, "Oh, I didn't have time to play Baldur's Gate. Moody, you've got 300 hours in Dino Crisis and Dino Crisis 2 in the last month."
What are you gonna do?
You just replay the entire Pokemon franchise.
Well, I have to catch them all.
In all the languages, it turns out.
In all
the languages, apparently, yeah. That is the new thing. New to from Pokemon Tuber and go, I'm going to play this game in every language and I'm going to catch them all in different languages.
Allons-y.
No, I'm Matt Smith. Geronimo!
Okay, yeah, all right. I have an Xbox 360.
You do.
You do.
That was wild.
That you may or may not have stolen.
I didn't steal it. All right, I might have
I
implied
didn't
that.
confirm or deny that you did. So
I didn't steal it. I was at Keith's house today actually, and you know he's just moved house and he's doing his DIYs, doing all this stuff out, and like we're playing board games, talking about Star Trek, you know, because we're cool and that's what we do, and. And like I don't know when, like partway through, and he's just all of a sudden he's just like, "Oh, I was watching the podcast," and I was like, "Uh-oh." That was my first thought. Oh, crap!
Can you tell Moody to stop fucking telling me to fuck off?
Tell that dickhead. No. And he just went, "Oh, you made a joke," and I must have done this. It's ages ago. You made a joke about going into CEX and coming out with an Xbox 360, and I was like, because I was like, "Yeah, of course I remember that.
Yeah, of course.
I remember everything I talk about on the podcast."
Exactly.
And then he was like, "Would you want mine?" And I was like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, I've got." He just got his Xbox. Apparently, he lent it to his brother. His brother just gave him it back. Do you want it? Because I don't need it. And I was like, sure.
I'm not going to say no.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have an
legal disclaimer. Legal disclaimer: the Words About Games podcast does not condone stealing in any way, shape, or form.
I didn't steal it.
That's what I'm saying. We don't condone it. You gave it to me.
There's two now.
Sure, he gave
He gave it to me, and then we lost at Arkham Horror twice. Yeah, I haven't set it up, but I'm looking forward to setting it up because I want to see what Xbox 360 games I want.
So, do you need a new cabinet now, or will it fit?
I haven't got that far yet.
That's future.
Look,
she's just still going through the phase of I've got 360 again, yay!
Feature problem. I'm like, what games do I own on 360? Because I'm always on some games.
Thankfully, there's a place out there. It's magical sometimes. It's going to be a pain in the ass, but still magical, where they're very cheap right now.
No, I mean my Xbox account on Xbox 360. Because Xbox doesn't know how to construct a functional storefront. The only place you can check what Xbox the only place you can check what Xbox 360 games you want is if you have an Xbox 360. Even though they're apparently the champions of backwards compatibility.
Nice.
So I'm like, okay, I have to...
You know how much they go on about game preservation as well.
Oh yeah, they love that game preservation. That's why they just turned off a bunch of games to preserve them.
And you can always trust what their execs say.
I trust Xbox
100% of the time.
I trust Xbox as far as I can throw my house.
She can be strong when she wants to be.
I'm strong. I'm pretty strong. I was gonna make the joke. I trust Xbox as much as I could throw my Xbox, but I could probably throw the Xbox quite far.
That's pretty easy. You throw used to score.
Yeah.
It's still listed as hot property, so you need to lay low for a while until he blows over.
I didn't steal it. God damn it. If I was going to steal anything,
confirm this for us in the chat below.
If I was going to steal anything from Keith, I would have stole the Sega Saturn.
You're already plotting. That's how good of a thief she is. She's
what's funny is
plotting the next item already. Yeah.
Calling her shots.
What's funny about that is he did actually offer to loan me it at some point in the future. So at some point I'm gonna be like, I borrowed a Saturn, and this is all going to start again.
Yeah. Lord.
Offline,
I don't
Amy
know.
and I were, offline. Amy and I were talking about going to the Science and Industry Museum here in London, where they have a video game exhibition going on at the moment, and they've got all the retro systems there, all the way from the old stuff. And from what I know, they weren't securely nailed down. But Amy's gonna be wearing like a big coat.
No, we're not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm gonna get tackled by security.
When she just walks
see how strong you are.
It's the console thief. Huh? What? How dare you? How dare all of you?
I know. Quick change of subject. In movie news, I finally got a chance to see Inside Out 2 this week. It was good. It was good, although I enjoyed the first one more.
I
it's
agree.
Still definitely worth the watch. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they nail anxiety down perfectly.
Yes.
They just absolutely nailed it for me personally. But no, I do agree. I think it is. The first one is far better than this one.
The first one I put as up there on my personal top tier list when it comes to Pixar movies. It was a high bar to reach, but they did a good job.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I hope that apparently they're doing a third. They're going to do a third one. Of course, you make a $1.5 billion movie. You're going to do a third one if you like it or not, Pixar. I hope. I have thoughts, and I'm thinking it'd be brilliant if you just do it. Disney just make the female character gay. Grow her up a little more and make her gay.
That's why I thought. That's getting into spoiler territory, so we'll give people.
No, it's not really. It's not. It's not. Just for me, I think that'll be the perfect thing to go through for her now.
I thought that's what they were leading towards with a kind of a certain entity they were keeping in a vault.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I do agree with you there, and I hope that is future.
Yes.
Grow her up to 18, or heck, going into college or whatever. Who cares? Either way, and that's what I think you should do. I think it'll be absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck the haters.
Absolutely.
I'm trying so
but
hard.
No, I think
not to rain on your parade. Change the subject.
Why do you want to rain on our parade?
Because it's Disney. Disney make a character gay.
They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. I agree that.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hope they do one day.
She was giving vibes though.
Oh, there was vibes. But they've done it a few times. Raya, there was vibes.
Yeah. Let me introduce you to a concept, a literary criticism concept called queerbaiting. Disney are
there's no doubt
masterful
about
at
it.
it.
Oh, hell yeah, they are, yeah.
But I'm glad you enjoyed the film.
What's the panda film? What was the panda film?
All of their films.
Is it the animal panda itself? The red panda movie?
No, I mean...
Oh, Turning Red.
Returning Red, thank you. There was very gay vibes in that as well for a lot of people that I've seen. So yeah, but no, yeah, there's no doubt.
Well, they had
but
gay
no,
characters in Star Wars, depending on which country you watched it in.
This is true.
That is true. That is true. That is true. That one kiss saved gayness in Star Wars and whatnot.
Although not in a certain country, which we'll be discussing in a short while.
Maybe. But I want to discuss one more thing before we get to the thing. So we all know, people, it came out. We've seen it. A few of us have. It's made like over $100 million worldwide. That's fantastic. We're over the moon. Alien Romulus, it's here.
Not even a single Romulus.
We all
0 out of 5.
It did have an alien in it though. Either way, I'm very mixed on this movie.
You said this a number of times. I've been waiting for you to pop off.
The thing is about it, so I don't want to spoil anything like that. Spoil about the movie. The suspense there, it's great, and I think Freddie Alvarez does an incredible job when it comes to this whole how he films it and everything. The alien, amazing, looks sexy as fuck, and the scene what they show of that, that was a phenomenal scene. There's a part in this movie I can't get around, and I'm still struggling with. I want to go and see it again because I just want to get my thoughts properly anchored. So I think seeing it again will help that. But there's an entity in this movie that I just can't get along with, and it's not about that character's in the movie or anything like that. That doesn't bother me. It's using a certain technology to do a certain thing
I know exactly
that
what
I
you're talking
don't
about.
like.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Badly enough.
I hate it. I didn't like it in Star Wars, and everything, and that annoys me. And no offense, I don't care if the family was okay with it. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. But no, two main characters were absolutely brilliant. I really loved them. I thought they were really well done. Andy. The character Andy is one hell of a is the big standout of the entire movie. I thought it was incredible. Chester scene is brilliant. It's fantastic. I think it's so well done, even though they spoiled the fuck out of it throughout the entire trailers. I'll just say that right now. They just they ruined the entire. There's a lot of it's in the movie, in the trailers.
This is why
which
you
is
need
very
to be more like me.
surprising.
Don't watch trailers anymore.
Hashtag
I don't
unsullied,
care about
yeah,
spoilers. Like I said, spoilers don't bother me whatsoever. But I have seen people say a lot. What you see in the trailers is a lot in the movie. There's nothing really new what you see in the movie, apart from one thing at the end of the movie and whatnot. And I was like, yeah, they're not wrong there. They really are. They showed a lot of this movie surprisingly in the trailers. You like go and dance me something. Ask me something, Evans.
The issue you took. Is it with a? If I say bishop, is that a thing you're alluding to? Right. Okay,
Yeah.
Bilbo Baggins.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, I don't mind the characters
does this get
there.
you more or less hype for the video game coming out in December? I want to say.
Well, the VR game.
Yeah.
I was never going to play that anyway, mate.
No, I'm
my
the
VR headset, so it's all right.
I'm the lunatic who plays horror games in VR for fun.
Yeah, that's true. No, that doesn't get me excited or anything like that for the movie whatsoever. It doesn't do anything. It's literally just the format that they use, which really it's shit. It's absolute shit. It's garbage. Like, if you see the movie, I know you're not a horror fan, if I remember rightly, but if you
I enjoy the alien movies. I just don't like scary games.
Oh, that's fair.
If it's on me to get the protagonist to whatever they need to do, then I'm sorry.
They didn't make it. The protagonist is dead instantly. Yeah. No, if you do actually see it, I'm very interested to see what your thoughts are, because it just was just like, oh no, why? It's in your face so much, and it's just Didn't like it.
So we saw the trailer for Romulus ahead of Deadpool and Wolverine, and they have one of the jump scares in there. And I understand there's not too many jump scares in there, but the one they do made my partner leap out of her chair by like a foot. So I'm sure that'll be a fun watch when we get around to it.
Can I be there when you watch it?
Sure.
I watched films this week. If we're doing words about films, yeah. So instead of watching Gamescom, I watched Kung Fury again on YouTube.
Nice.
Which is just the stupidest.
Fury.
Yeah, if you've never seen it, it's 30 minutes long. It's available on YouTube, and it's like an incredible parody of 80s action movies.
Oh, okay.
It's phenomenal.
Oh, yeah,
it's the dumbest thing you'll ever see, but like in a really good way.
Interesting.
It's very, very funny.
Yeah, David Sandberg.
David Hasselhoff is in it.
All the Davids.
Yeah,
All the
so many
Davids.
But I won't say anything else. Again, it's a 30 minutes of your life. That's trying to convince Phil to watch it. I'm an 80s film fan. And he's like, no, I'm watching Alien versus Predator 2. And I'm like, dude, why? I'm like, what are you doing?
Like,
Requiem.
Wow.
But I'll say this, where I land this movie, it's basically is the same as Prometheus and Alien Covenant for me. They are good movies, but they are flawed at the same time.
Right.
And that's how it is basically. Which I can still watch them and everything like that, but it's just like so close.
I also watched D&D. The Chris Pine,
You did,
Michelle
yeah.
Rodriguez film, D&D, the Dungeons and Dragons film. I forget the
Oh,
subtitle.
that is so much fun.
It's very good, very fun film. It was a week of fun films that were fun. Like, I'm fighting back against the allegations that I only watched like foreign films from the 1950s in black and white.
I don't think I've ever said that.
Not against you two.
That's
But,
okay then.
Yeah, I watched Kung Fury, which is the complete opposite of that. I watched D&D, loved it, thought it was very funny. Like, I had a great time with it, and that's all I want.
Is so good in it.
He's very good. I sent Vitz a text about halfway through when they were doing the scene where they were questioning all of the corpses in the graveyard, and I was like, my sides are about to explode out of me. But I also watched The Fall Guy, the Ryan Gosling film.
Yeah,
and again,
Gosling,
it was just a really fun film. I love comedy Gosling. And I love stunts.
That's where he's best. Yeah.
And there are a lot of stunts in this film because it's about a stuntman. But yeah, no, I loved it. I just had a fun time watching stuff. And then I finished watching Enterprise Season 3, and I was like, okay, that was actually really good.
Hey,
there you go.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
All I needed to do, the whole trajectory of like the increasing desperation of like finishing the mission.
Yeah.
Like if they just didn't have, because the thing I was worried about was they went to 100 in like episode 2. I was talking about last week. And I was like, if they just didn't have that bit where Archer tortures the dude in episode 2, I would have been like, I wouldn't have had any reservations going through the rest of the season. Because like it's a bit ropey at the beginning. Like there's that Beauty and the Beast episode. And I was like, ooh, I thought this was supposed to be like good. What's happening here?
He tells me it was good.
No, but then there's the Vulcan zombie episode, and I was like, no, we're back.
Yeah.
And then the ship gets completely fucked up, and I was like, damn.
Yeah, when you see that,
Holy
you're just like,
shit.
oh shit.
They're fucking around.
Yeah.
And then the next episode, it does the shot like they always do, where it's like it flies across, and it's like there's so many holes in it, and I'm like, oh my god.
How are you still flying?
For the rest of the season, like the sets are just half demolished.
Holes everywhere. It's just like, what the fuck?
It's like if you told me this show was getting cancelled at the end of the season, and they just decided to take sledgehammers to everything, I would have been like, yeah, okay.
That makes complete sense.
Broke everything.
The thing is, they keep flying around in it and fighting in it with holes in the ship. It's just like, this ship can't take much more.
Can't take much more, Captain.
It was very enjoyable.
Right.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I still, like, I've rolled into season 4, and I'm like, the thing I warned you about, where I was like, I'm going to get more angry, as I watched season 4, knowing that it got cancelled at its peak, is starting to happen. But like, yeah, it's still my favorite season.
That's good.
Watch those 3 Vulcan episodes, and it's just like, fuck, this is peak.
A question I have, and it's sidebar: when these allegations do come to you, do you picture yourself in like a Audrey Hepburn kind of cosplay thing?
No,
with like a big floppy hat and sunglasses as you're watching these movies.
No, like, okay, yes, sure. I watch old films and I watch foreign films, but like I also watch dumb films as well and enjoy them.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I like John Wick. John Wick's one of my
Absolutely,
favorite films.
yeah.
That entire film is just about Keanu Reeves killing a bunch of dudes.
Over a dog, and I don't think there's anything more honorable than doing
No,
that.
like I'm with him
Hey,
100%.
we saw
Like-
how adorable that dog.
Oh,
justified.
no.
It's
I
like
know.
it's like the bougie video game critic thing from I think last year. Like it's like I get tagged with these things by people because like I'm passionate about Akira
Not watching
Kurosawa
stuff.
films and not watching the Marvel Cinematic Universe because I find it boring. And so I get these labels attached to me. And I don't like
Ghost of Tsushima and Kurosawa mode confirmed.
Don't get me started on that, man. Like, it's not Kurosawa mode just because you made it black and white. Like, oh, it's Kurosawa. It's exactly like Kurosawa. Why? Because it's black and white. Some of his films were in color, you know. God damn it! It's more the films than what color it was.
I won't lie, like when she was down here, we did watch Godzilla -1.
And I fucking loved
That was
it.
a great film.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
I
great
won't lie,
film.
I think I'm like about an average of 100 right now with Amy when she comes in, because every film I've watched with her, she's just like,
Godzilla
"Bro, I love
-1.
that was great."
I love that. Nimona, I really enjoyed. RRR
Nimona's
is one of my
amazing.
favorite films I've ever seen in my
Yeah.
entire life.
Knives Out,
Knives Out was phenomenal.
Your Name.
Check out Glass
Your
Onion.
Name was great. Sorry, no, Glass Out,
Did you
Glass
check-
Onion. Yeah, because I
Yeah,
didn't
that's
know
the one
that.
she watched. Yeah.
I love Knives Out.
Okay.
Glass Onion
Yeah.
is superior in every way. Yeah, there's probably others.
Your
Prey
Name,
as
you
well.
said that? Yeah.
Great, yeah.
Prey,
I forgot we watched
great
Prey.
film. What's the plot? This chick kills a predator. Like nothing else to it.
What do you need?
It is. What else do you need?
So there are films like that though. Sometimes it is just what else do you need? Like, you know, like fucking again, four John Wick films. Keanu Reeves kills everybody.
And they're making a fifth,
That's it.
and he's back apparently.
Well, he's dead, so I'm wondering how that's gonna work out.
Comes back as a zombie, but yeah, he doesn't eat. He doesn't.
Vulcan
eat.
zombies. It's a Star Trek Enterprise season 5.
No, but yeah, it's
Yeah, you're
interesting.
you're batting quite well on films, considering how different our opinions are a lot of the time for like art. Like you somehow have like nailed it every time you've put a film on and made me watch it.
Yeah, the one I want to check with you next is like she even watched, like, I was just watching Gundam Wing and she was slowly getting into that. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I remember you saying like watch half a season of Gundam.
Half a season
Yeah,
of
and she
Gundam
slowly
Wing.
got into it.
I was like, oh,
I
that's
was
very
like,
good. The only film that we've watched together when I've been at yours that I didn't really like that much was that Dumb Money film, but that wasn't your idea. Like,
yeah.
so
yeah,
I can't
was
pin
yours.
that on you. I can't pin that on you.
Yeah.
It was one of those things we saw on the thing and just went, should we watch this? And just sort of collectively went, yeah, I guess. I mean, why not?
Yeah. And then afterwards, I put on Serenity, a superior film.
Which you don't get
which was-
points. You don't get points for because obviously I was in. You knew
Yeah,
I
you've already
liked
seen that.
You knew I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the next film I want to show you, I want to show you a silent voice
Okay.
that I think you'll love
Nice.
as well.
And then time depending,
Oh god.
we'll watch a Bollywood movie together
Hell yeah.
when you're down here.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I wish I could go back and watch Firefly and Serenity, but I just can't. I wish there was a switch where I can separate art from artist, but I can't.
Oh,
more
the
power to you if you can.
effect. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like my only saving grace for that is that he's not like actively out there doing things right now, but like
That's
it
true.
is that sort of conundrum of like Buffy and Angel and Firefly were like my
Yeah.
childhood.
They shaped who you are today. kind of
They
thing,
shaped who I no, they probably did shape who I am today, like as a person, which kind of sucks because obviously the driving force, creative force behind it. But
Yep.
what I also like to think about is just all of the other people who brought this to life.
Of course. It wasn't a solo effort.
Yeah, it wasn't just him, thank God.
That's true. Oh, the bastard wrote Alien Resurrection. It's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
We should have known right there and then.
Which is funny.
Anyway, let's stop talking about things we like and get into the meat of this podcast, which is basically going to be us complaining for the next hour and a half. I'm so sorry.
Buckle in, folks.
I can only be held responsible for a third of this. And we're starting with Vitz.
Yeah. So what's good, dear listener? Let's take you on a journey to the west, some may say, because this story is about. See, I did that joke just so Amy and she took it.
God damn it.
This is a story about Black Myth Wukong, and a rather weird set of kind of instructions and guidelines that went out to a certain number of influencers, specifically not reviewers, but influencers who was going to stream the game early before release. And the main gist of this was a Forbes article, which is titled Black Myth Wukong, no feminist propaganda, no COVID-19 discussion, email is real. So there was a story that broke out on social media, I believe the day before, saying that this could have been a thing. And it turns out it actually was. And then it was corroborated by a number of sources. And again, most of the video game press who were reviewing the game didn't get this instruction. But yeah, so various number of creators received a Google Doc with essentially guidelines following the coverage, and I'll read it verbatim. So these are things to do when you play Black Myth Wukong, and then it's broken out into two sections: do's and don'ts. In do's, it's pretty simple: enjoy the game. Don'ts is where it gets interesting.
Do's is pretty interesting.
Yeah, there's a number of red flags in here. Pretty much on all of them. But we'll go from the top down. So do not insult other influencers or players. Now, these guidelines went out to content creators, people who were planning to stream the game or whatnot. And I think it's a lot to ask of someone to potentially change the vibe of their stream just to suit a certain content creator or a certain kind of product. And yeah, if the context was there of saying, oh, just be a decent person, then that's one thing, kind of thing. That I think that's okay.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. But I don't have a problem with the first bullet point. Like that's just a standard thing. Like don't be a dick to other people.
The
like
next
fair.
One, don't use any offensive language or humor.
All right, that disqualifies me.
Yes,
from streaming this game. Like, I swear like a fucking sailor.
Exactly. It is one of these of, okay, you can't control. There's only a certain amount of control that you can control the message once you put that product out there for influencers and content creators to use, kind of thing. And yeah, this is the weird one. But then it gets even worse. Do not include politics, violence, nudity, feminist propaganda, fetishization, and other content that instigates negative discourse.
I have a question.
Amy.
Other content that instigates negative discourse. Video games instigate negative discourse all the goddamn time. That was such a good point. You froze.
You broke Vitz.
I broke it.
I sure did.
Vitz.
Because I was about to bring my feminist propaganda, no doubt.
You do that. Go for it.
Yeah.
The feminism hammer.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a especially weird one. So for those who aren't aware, so Black Myth Wukong is a title that's associated with the actions of some of the senior leadership over at the development studio. Game Science and the publisher Hero Games, kind of thing, and it's the way that they allegedly spoke to women and put out job listings for women, and these allegations stretch from the execs at the studio saying, quote, fat is not need apply to certain positions, and in general being terrible to women. And when challenged upon this, especially during the preview cycle for Black Myth Wukong, the rhetoric coming from the studio was, oh, that's something we're not talking about today.
No comment. No comment. comment.
Exactly. No comment. And for them, if they didn't mention it, if they didn't mention like any of this to say, don't mention feminist propaganda or anything, I think largely people would say, okay, that there's a few weird things in here, but then by calling out to it, it brings more attention. Then it reminds people, oh yeah, these people are shitty towards women, and we haven't seen a shred of evidence to say that they've changed or made the situation better for women and other people there at the studio or indeed the publisher. So yeah, there's that as well. But let's move on because it gets a lot more China, as DJT would say. Do not use trigger words such as quarantine or isolation or COVID-19.
I kind of get this one. Sorry, I just wanted to jump in really
Go
quick
for it.
because I do kind of get this one because like a lot of, I don't want to say Americans, but like there's a lot like use the like it's called in Donald J. Trump land, the Chinese plague or the China plague or whatever.
Yep.
So I kind of get them putting this one in there because with them being a Chinese studio. It's like we don't want people being racist. And one vector of racism towards China specifically is like COVID-19, quarantine, isolation, stuff like that. So I do like if the rest of this document wasn't the way that it was, and this was in here, I'd be like, I kind of sympathize with that one a little bit, just because of that rhetoric.
But then also, do not discuss content. But then do not discuss content related to China's game industry, policies, opinions, news, etc. So
Can I mention where this game was made?
Exactly. Don't you mention it, and definitely don't mention anything about 100 Acre Wood or Winnie the Pooh. Otherwise, bad things will happen.
Oh God, don't like we lost a game out of that.
Yeah.
Fucking.
And it's one of these where
This is one of the bullet points.
it's like obviously we are speaking to this from our perspective of being in the quote unquote West, and we have an outside looking in approach when it comes to all the dealings going on in China, and for them to kind of I want to say quote unquote enforce this with their guidelines because they intend people to follow it. Whether they can police this or not is completely out the way. Although I wouldn't put it past them
think it's
to have people on the ground. Yeah. I was going to say I wouldn't put it past them to have people on the ground watching every single streamer who's streaming this game. Just
I'm playing Black Myth Wukong, as souls die, and I go, oh shit, and then that's it. My whole channel's just deleted instantly. Like I don't think that's happening.
Absolutely, but this whole shrouding yourself in secrecy and saying and having commentary on world affairs or whatever it is a bit far-fetched. And as I said, this email was not sent to journalists, and some of them have said it's fake based on that, but it was for creators only. These guidelines may also have not made it to all creators or were sent out immediately from requests for codes for those creators. There's no NDA required to accept the code. So I just wanted to bring this up because it's weird all round. I think the stand-up phrase to me is the feminist propaganda piece in relation to...
It feels like they've snuck that one in there because of their specific alleged history based on, the things that have been reported on in the past. This is a weird one to me because I saw this when it first came out and I thought, some fucking weirdo online has made something up because Black Myth Wukong has entered the same space as Stellar Blade, which we were talking about earlier in the year, where it's just this weird thing that's become a focal point in a culture war. So you see weird shit happen around this game, and I thought someone's made that up. There's no way anyone would sign up to get a review code for it, and reviewers didn't get the code because I've never done influencer marketing as a streamer or anything like that, but I have obviously been a reviewer, so I have seen a lot of review documents and guidelines that you get for stuff like that. The only stream I ever did was for Far Cry 4, I think it was, and the only restrictions in there was okay, you can do this and you can do this, but you can't go to this place and you can't like progress beyond this point and stuff like that. And I was like, this is weird. And I had to have this big checklist of things I couldn't do next to me while I was streaming, but it was fine. Like I'd never seen anything like this.
Yeah,
before.
you can see how that's reasonable, as you don't want to spoil it further.
Yeah, sure. It's just like, look, we've got a marketing thing going on. It's like, cool. Like I can play basically 2 hours of the game, and the entire time, all I got was questions about how I'm playing the game, and it's like, I don't know if this marketing push is really working as well as you think it is, guys. But like I'd never seen a document like this before. And then seeing other reviewers saying, no, we didn't get this. I just wrote it off. I was like, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's obvious bullshit. Who would do this? One, and then who would sign up to it? Two. But I guess I just don't know streaming and influencer marketing, because like it turns out not only is this real, and streamers did get this, but also like I don't know if like no feminist propaganda and no trigger words like COVID and stuff, but like this isn't tremendously uncommon, as I've been finding out as I've been like looking into it more, for streamers playing games pre-release. And I was like, damn, things have really changed since my day. Like we just got told what not to do and where not to go by AAA studios. And these studios were just happy you were playing the game. They were like, have fun. Which I have. And like, can we just say it? Do enjoy the game. It's like, I get it. It's cute. It's funny. But also like, is that mandatory? Like,
yeah.
Do I have to enjoy the game? Am I allowed to not enjoy the game?
But like also like most of these things on this list are exactly the same things what the vile people on the internet who are fighting this culture war will rally towards, kind of thing. Saying,
yeah, sure.
Get this stuff out of our games.
Yeah, because you've seen it like hundreds upon hundreds of fucking thousands of good, like, you know what I mean? Like, good. They should just focus on the game, and it's like I'm in two minds. Like, again, this is the depth of this. The all of the stuff is like, it's too heavy-handed by far, but like I get it, because the streamers who are streaming this pre-release, it's a marketing thing. This isn't like
100%.
people going on Twitch to play a game that they enjoy. It's a marketing thing, and I get like marketers don't want people swearing their heads off all over their marketing. Like they don't want to talk. They don't want people to be like talking about violence, you know, and politics. It's just like they want people to be talking about the game. So on the one hand, I get it. But on the other hand, it's like you're policing people's channels and who they are and like how they present themselves in that space. Because like we discuss stuff like we could be playing Lethal Company and suddenly have a discussion about something we've seen in the news and stuff like that. You know, like
Absolutely.
Like our space is that kind of space where we will just talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about, right? Like same with the podcast. But yeah, it's that it enters the realm of its influencer marketing, not necessarily streaming, and there's a disconnect between what I think people think those two things are and how there is a difference between those two things.
Yeah, and if you're going to do it, then line number one should
Damn, it's keeping me
just to remind everybody. Yeah.
What was line number one?
Sorry, that's on me. We got dodgy internet connection. Line number one should be don't message minors. If you're gonna do it, then just
let's go with that.
Micromanage it properly.
That one doesn't stretch beyond between the divide. Like it's like whether you're just a streamer or an influencer, don't message minors. How about that? But yeah, no, it's such a strange situation, and like it'd be something to have an interesting discussion about. But because it's become this focal point of a culture war, a made-up culture war, that it's like you can't have an interesting discussion about it. Like me putting this at the top of the document means that this is what the podcast title is going to be about, and there's that worry when I'm going to publish it. It's like if these people find this video, like I'm gonna have an interesting weekend. But yeah, I think there's a broader discussion to be had about influencer marketing as well, because I think people just need more public education on what is happening there, you know, like what these streams actually are, which is an advertisement, a long advertisement, essentially.
We do need a little bit more inside baseball just to, as you say, educate people in terms of, okay, marketing involves reviews, it involves previews, it involves influencer streams and pre-release content. what they're doing, not necessarily produced by themselves, but by influencers and content creators alike. So, yeah, 100% with you on that one.
Yeah, and you do to a certain extent get to set the rules of what you can and can't do on your own stream if that's the crack. Again, this is ridiculous. I'm way too heavy-handed, but yeah. As with everything else, it's a lot new. It's probably a bit more nuanced than.
Of course. Moody.
This is just a company who is based in China, who's been very negative towards women, allegedly, from things that we've obviously spoken about and everything, and that's online. And then, so when you see this, or when I see this, I just literally go, I'm not surprised. Like, and to any content creator out there who signed this or anything like that, that's on you. Don't come whining or complaining about it or anything like that. If anyone has, I honestly don't know, because I've seen it. I saw like kind of funny thing about it. Like they said they never got this type of thing because obviously they were doing a full-on review. This was aimed at the silly ass content creators out there who do nothing but spark and controversy and try and spark the culture wars and everything like that out there. Like I have seen one like part of like what you guys mentions, like the right-wing morons out there who just do nothing but spew hate, have obviously latched onto this thing and yeah, this is pro all this and everything like that. And these are the ones who also are pro free speech and everything like that. Well, this ain't free speech.
Exactly. This is the opposite.
I understand certain one of them. I do understand, like, from a certain point, like the top two. Even though you can't really police the second one at all, I can appreciate that and everything like that. But for me, like everyone, like I've seen people say, like joking, like, and we've like you guys even sent it yourself. It's like, how are they going to police this? Yeah, people will be watching.
People on the ground, yeah,
like them. Again, they'll be watching because it's an influencer stream. They'll know it's happening. They'll know when it's happening, and they'll be able to watch it. That's the difference. Yeah,
that's the thing about it. Yeah, and all what will happen is that they'll just get blacklisted. That's it. Nothing more, nothing else.
That's the only recourse they have, right? In terms of going forwards. They can't like lobby Twitch to take their channel down or anything like that. Yeah.
And if any of those ones who try and get their next game and they come back and say no, you deserve that. You deserve it at the end of the day because you were stupid enough to sign this, to agree to this. Like some of them I do agree to. I can appreciate that and everything like that. Them not wanting to see like people talking about China and everything like that. I get that. It's their country and everything like that. That's what they don't want to see that. Fine. I would still say China people get over it. But either way, I'm in a free country. Kind of at the same time. I said kind of.
Okay. But yeah, it's to the same point, like not talking about like China's policies and Chinese news. It's to the same point of like the COVID-19 part. It's like I do somewhat sympathize because again, there's a lot of anti-Chinese racism. There's a lot of xenophobic racism and xenophobia and racism specifically about China out there. And I get that they just want to be like, look, we don't want any of this, like from any Western creators. So I do sympathize somewhat with those points.
I do. And like, if you're a content creator and a streamer who like streams on YouTube are very hard on COVID-19. Like a lot of them, like they will either demonetize your video or whatever. Like or hide it. Like and everything. Like I doubt Amy's will get hit by this or anything like that because of us saying COVID-19 and everything like that. Or Amy will just have to go out and edit and bleep all those ones out, which she won't do. At the same time, it's just like I'm not surprised at this whatsoever, and this is just goes to the rhetoric out there that is just hate, cancellation, quote unquote cancellation, the avoidance, the true cancellation of free speech and everything like that, and whatnot, and just allowing hate mongrels out there just thrive in a place of an industry that is a vile, toxic place these days and whatnot. Like the separate rhetoric, like the rhetoric that I've seen, like what's gone on for like the Acolyte getting cancelled, that has been vile and everything. People have celebrated people losing their jobs and everything, and like I hate that. I don't like that. People have celebrated the people who have liked that show. Ha 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 ha! You lose, ha ha, type of thing. And it's just like I hate that, and I hate seeing that. And it's like it's the same freaking thing, man. People are just happy to see this thing when it's just like it's going against everything you quote unquote believe in.
Just double standards all the way down.
Yeah.
With your permission, sirs, can I tuck and roll into what I wanted to talk about? Because it is, I put it after this because it does kind of hang off of what we've been talking about. It's going to start in a weird place because essentially what I'm going to do is let me walk you through my week of scrolling through social media.
Oh no!
Because
welcome to doom scrolling with Kate Alexander.
We'll make this a podcast segment. Doom scrolling.
Yeah.
We'll get a little jingle. Because I've had a fucking week scrolling through social media. Like I was talking in the intro about how I watched a lot of films and I watched a lot of Star Trek, and like I haven't played a single game, and I think this has contributed to that because I have seen some dumbass shit that makes me question a lot of things. But the first one, which like hangs off of this, which I think we've probably all seen. One of the first things I saw was the fake screenshots going around of Reb Valentine's review that she totally did of Black Myth Wukong, which was immediately seized upon by culture war idiots. I've got a lot of screenshots.
I thought you were going to say China there.
Well, she's been seized upon by China.
Seized by China.
Yeah. Apparently, Rebecca Valentine reviewed Black Myth Wukong on PC and gave it 5 stars and called it mediocre. And the quote, which has been cut off slightly by my screenshot, says, Black Myth Wukong has all the elements required for an exciting action game, but the game is almost non-existent in its tolerance of diverse races, which betrays the player's long 4-year wait. And then, like, that's been seized upon by a bunch of people who have been like, yeah, look, see, she's got an agenda. She fucking hates the game. It's like, she never reviewed the game. Like,
no, and IGN doesn't use the star system.
It's not 5 stars, it's 5 out of 10.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, like, it would be weird if that was the poll line and she gave it a maximum score. Even in fake screenshots, that would be weird. It's been seized upon by the worst people on the internet who just immediately started sharing this shit, and it's like I became aware of this because I saw her posting about it on Bluesky, being like, "What the fuck do you even do about this?"
Exactly.
Like, there's nothing I can do about it. Like, they've made these screenshots up because she did a bit of reporting a few months ago or last year. Yeah. She did a bit of reporting on the game last year where all she did was report what people have told her about Game Science, the developer of the game. And like now she's getting like waves of death threats. She's been locked down on Twitter for ages. But my week did not end there. We have
the Tomb Raider one.
I don't. But that was amazing. I did see that one. Yeah. It's like they just made up fucking subtitles. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
But no, my media literacy and critical thinking journey came to a head with the. Sorry, I have a lot of screenshots. It's the review, the Steam reviews. There's this person who tweeted, and I'm not gonna call them out by name. 1.8 million concurrent players on Steam, overwhelmingly positive user reviews. Game journalists are out of touch and put the message above all else. You do not hate game journalists enough. And it's just like, all right, guys, look, like, chill the fuck out, all right? It's got a lot of players and it's got a lot of positive reviews. That does not make it objectively good. If people don't like it, which, by the way, it's been pretty positively reviewed by game journalists that you don't hate enough. Like, I'm getting angry. I'm becoming agitated. And we're only two bullet points down.
To your point, like, a lot of people still see the Transformers movies and they objectively not good.
Like, just... It's that goes to what Moody was saying. Like, that this specific point goes to what Moody was saying, which is like they have to feel like they have to win. Like, they've won because the game is popular and is being played by a lot of people, and it's just like, bro, like there is no winning. Like, like you didn't win just because the game that you have decided to make your entire personality about this week is doing well. Like, if that was the case, we the not fucking losers would win like all the time. Like, Baldur's Gate 3 was like the biggest game of last year. Like, just saying. But that's not what it's about.
One of the best games of all time.
Yeah, that's not what it's about. Like, congratulations, the game did great. I love that. I love that for the people who are enjoying it and who aren't weirdos about it. I love that for the developers who made it, who aren't like toxic pieces of shit. Like, that's phenomenal all the way around. But then my journey took an interesting turn. And again, this all happened in a week. I'm not like reaching back in time to pull things. Because PC Gamer put out an article. And I saw the social media post for this article, and it had the headline: "It's no wonder Dragon Age: The Veilguard was Steam Deck verified so quickly. It'll run on a 10-year-old graphics card that was new when Inquisition came out." That's the headline. And like, I saw this in the context of someone had quote tweeted it and was like, "I can't believe PC Gamer are complaining about the Veilguard being optimized." Like, that was the take that went with it. And I went, you know what? I've been using PC Gamer as a news source on the podcast for years. Yeah. And I also can't believe this. So I did something, and this is going to blow your mind, Vitz, Moody. You're not going to believe this. What I did was I went, there's a hyperlink here. Let me just click on that.
You clicked on the hyperlink
Let me just
for
click
more
on that
information
link.
before you
And I
formed
was
your
like,
opinion?
Because I was like, I can't believe they've done this. Like, I am with the poster on this. So I can't believe they did this. And like, you go on the tweet, and it's just underneath. It's just tons of people saying like the same things. It's like, well, PC Gamer like hates PC games. It's like, okay, what the fuck is going on? Let me just scroll through that. Yeah, no, they don't hate. They actually find it quite refreshing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, that's the takeaway I got from the headline. It's just a playful headline. Yeah. But apparently we have to be mad about everything at all times.
We can only base our opinions off the headline, and not even the whole headline.
we can't click the links. We can't click the links. Then there was the Spec Ops The Line discourse that kicked off. And you know me, I love some Spec Ops The Line discourse.
Exactly.
You know, the person whose Twitter screenshots were like screenshotted some of this stuff was like this person I agreed with, where it was like their tweets were, a lot of gamers seem to struggle with the idea that the protagonist in a video game might not literally be them. With the follow-up, sometimes the medium will have you do bad things, and it doesn't mean the game is calling you a bad person. It means you are exploring a narrative from the point of view of the character. Gamers really struggle with this, mostly because a lot of them have poor media literacy. And like, yeah, there's like screenshots of like 4chan talking about...
It's like Last of Us Part 2 all over.
Yeah, it's talking about Spec Ops The Line, where it's like, you know, there's bullet points here, where it's like... you know, killing, like, see, a bad person, a bad soldier, but killing the civilians was my only option to proceed with the game. An action has no morality attached if there's no choice. You could have turned off the game. You, the player, equals bad. And it's like, that's nonsense. And this did exactly happen with The Last of Us Part 2. Yeah. Where it's like, you do things as Ellie in that game that I wouldn't have done if I'd had a choice.
100%.
But that's not the story of the game. But also, the game isn't calling me a bad person for doing those things. It's calling Ellie a bad person for doing those things. And you're exploring that narrative as Ellie. Ellie is not you. And it's the same thing in Spec Ops The Line. When the white phosphorus scene happens, it's horrific and awful, but it's not like the game isn't calling you a terrible person for doing that because you had no choice. It's saying this is a terrible thing. This is what war is about. This is what your war games are about. It's like it's prompting you to think.
Yes.
And I think that's where a lot of gamers are struggling with games like that. The thinking part.
Because they play games to switch off.
Then don't play those games.
They don't know how to think. They forget to think.
Yeah, these all happened all at once. I also saw the and I've seen this image before. Someone made an essential conservative core graphic, which is like, these are the essential conservative core games. Like, if you're a conservative gamer, please tell me I've saved it, because I already have it, you see. It's for a video I want to make someday.
Well, whilst you find that, I will recap the two made-up screenshots that were going around today. So,
there
Netflix
it is.
has a new Tomb Raider animated series coming out, and it stars Haley Atwell, who you may know as Agent Carter from the MCU movies. And essentially, there's some screenshots going around. Apologies, the loud crowds on my end. Screenshots going around, which have been doctored, of Lara Croft, another character, saying, and Lara's being told, well, you've got to recognize your white privileges, so you need to give back all the artifacts you've done stole over your whole career. And
That was it. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. I saw those screenshots. I was like, bro,
show me this. Show me the core tenets of the conservative gamer. Then
I saw that fucking line of dialogue, and I was just like, there's no way a professional writer for a TV show wrote that line of dialogue. Like, I knew instantly. I was like, that's fake.
Yeah.
I can't believe they faked that. Yeah, so I'm not familiar with a bunch of games on this, but essential conservative core, and it's got a picture of the Republican elephant and a UK flag with like the conservative logo. So these are like the full-on conservative games. I'm not familiar with a lot of them, but some of them did make me laugh quite a lot. There's a couple of Warhammer games on here, which is hilarious. The one that I really laughed at was BioShock.
wow.
BioShock is an essential conservative core game, which like I've not played it because of my thalassophobia, but I know enough to know that that's ridiculous on the face of it.
Yeah, it's not. Would you kindly be subjugating a bunch of people and be fascist to everybody else?
Fire Emblem Three Houses is on here, which I thought was funny because the game is so gay, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they don't like gay people. But my favorite one that's on here, for me personally, of games that I'm familiar with, is Silent Hill 3. You kill God at the end of that game.
Yeah.
So
they love God. That's the one thing I know.
The main bad guy is like cult. Like the cult of whatever it was. Like they're the antagonists. They're not the good guys. Dino Crisis is on here, just in case you're wondering. It is literally a picture of Dino Crisis looking at me right now. Which is apparently that's essential conservative core. So I'm afraid you're going to have to get rid of that game.
I'll throw this copy of Dino Crisis 2 out.
How's this essential conservatism? You play as a woman. Don't they only play as white, pasty white men?
Probably, but like I don't know about that because half of these games are Japanese. And where you play as Japanese protagonists. So I mean, if we're counting that, I mean, look, right, here's where we can discount every single one of these games. They all have pronouns in them. People use pronouns in all these games.
The end of the world as we know it.
Persona 4 Golden, Mortal Kombat, The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Perfect Dark, Fallout 3, God of War 3, Metro Exodus, Halo 2. I didn't think Halo 2 was about anything other than him buying a green suit who kills aliens. Like,
yeah.
Goes back to my thing about they don't like to think. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance is in the bottom corner of that list, by the way.
I think I understand why they think all these games are conservative coded, especially like Dino Crisis and Perfect Dark. It's the fact that Dino Crisis is third person, right?
Yes.
Or is it first person?
Dino Crisis
you get to look at person. Yeah, so you get to through their lens at least, you get to enjoy the male gaze of the protagonist.
Looking at a woman.
That's what makes it.
Well, they don't get to do that in real life, so they got to find that somewhere.
Yeah.
So the reason I brought all this up, I thought it was a good pairing with you want to talk about the Black Myth Wukong thing, and I was like, well, actually, I've had a weird week on social media. And the reason I mostly wanted to bring this up was to ask the question, what the fuck are we supposed to do about this? Because I think it's hampering my ability to enjoy video games. And
yeah,
I can log off, sure. But I also do this podcast. And like some of this stuff is going to be useful fodder for podcasts and all, but also for future videos that I'm making. Like plan to make fun of that conservative call list for at least half an hour on a video one day. But
only half an hour, bloody hell.
I got a lot of stuff to cover in that video. But like I don't know, like ignoring them doesn't seem to work. Like we seem like if we look at take all of that in its totality, it's like, I mean, Rebecca Valentine tries to ignore them and still gets the death threats because they just unprompted will just make shit up about her. And
broke everyone.
Yeah, everyone broke there. So as I was saying, like we can't just ignore it because that's what Rebecca Valentine tries to do. And like they just unprompted will make shit up about her and she'll get the death threats again. So it's like ignoring it isn't really seem like a viable option. Calling it out is exhausting because it's non-stop. And I think that's part of the point. Like, I think the reason that they continuously, like people like Grums, for example, will continuously churn this stuff out. But also, like, I was thinking about my credits video, like my video game credits video. And like, and how fast creators who lie all the time, allegedly. I shouldn't do that with air quotes. Let me try that again. People who lie all the time, allegedly.
Yeah.
Such as St. Asmongold, for example, who we've talked about on this podcast before. Like they pump out content so fucking quickly, which then gets shared around amongst all of his fans and all the people who are fans of like the right wing rhetoric thing, to actually like make something to just like combat the disinformation in one of his videos takes time. Like it took me 6 months to research a video about video game credits, right? Like that wasn't even anything to do with anything like any of this shit, right? It's just like it takes too long to tell the truth about things people can lie about in 10 seconds, I guess, is sort of like my crux of my problem here. And I want to pass that over to the group and be like, the fuck?
Yeah, it's a similar thing when it comes to breaking news and journalism in the first place, in terms of the world is too impatient to wait for a source to be corroborated before whatever headline goes out onto Twitter or whatever social media platform it is, and then it just spreads out wildfire. Meanwhile, while journalists are actually doing their journalistic duties, and we've just become I'll say that again, for some reason we've just become a bit impatient, and it needs to fall on it needs to fall on the platform holders to either do more to deplatform these people who spout nothing but hate or falsehoods and things like that, but they won't because there's too much money to be made. But that's all we can do, is just implore the platform holders to take these people down, because we can't do it. And as you say, it takes not only time, but it's a mental capacity in order to try and combat everything they're saying, kind of thing. And it physically can't be done because of the sheer volume of it. The only way it can be done is from a platform holder side. But as to the solution, I don't have one.
Yeah, no, I didn't expect you to be like, well, this is what we need to do.
I've got it. Yes.
Eureka!
There's no solution whatsoever. Like, these hate mongrels out there, and because of a capitalistic society that we are in and everything, like Vitz, what you was spot on, and like YouTube ain't going to do anything about Asmongold and all the other hate mongers out there. However, for God's sakes, Dr. Disrespect, who was a pedophile, is still on their fucking their whole thing. Like, but Twitch, these kind of give them a little bit of backing that they kick the fucker off. But no, YouTube are like, well, he brings us so much money, it's all good, type of thing. But either way, and it's like, and it's how it is also just like it's even worse out there even more, because like we've got an absolute moron who is the owner of Twitter, who's completely destroyed that platform altogether in the pursuit of free speech, who did nothing but tweet out false information when we over here in the UK were having those riots a couple of weeks ago. He's got no, what? You don't see the police going up to him and arresting him? No, it's never going to happen. Or anything like that. This is the thing
Shout
about
out
it.
to Imain Khalif for getting him and J.K. Rowling to stop tweeting for 13 days and counting now.
I have a point about that,
because
actually.
their lawsuit.
That is funny. It is
Sure,
no doubt
go for
about
it.
that. But
finish
it's like, yeah, like for me, it's just like, and this is just a me thing. Like, I got off it. I was just, I stay out of it. Like, if for me, it's just, it is nothing but tiresome. Like what you're saying, Amy, like the twat Asmongold can literally get a freaking, he pumps out videos like he's taking a
Damn. Discord censored that one.
him
dear.
that he just keeps on going. And you're saying, how can we counteract that? We can't. Because at the end of the day, we're smart enough to know is that we need to counteract this. Basically, we would need a massive fucking team who's going to do nothing but research to make sure that we're fact checking ourselves and making sure that that what we are saying is absolute truth, and know that we can knock. I'm just using him as the example. There's many more twats out there to really to counteract them, but at the same time, it's that sadly the haters out there. I don't think they outnumber to say the left. We'll just say that it's a better analogy for it. I don't think they outnumber us or anything like that. It's just they outshout us, and that's ultimately just how it is. They are just a really loud minority who is nothing but a piece of shit scumbags out there who just want to fucking shout. And sadly, whatever that has happened in their lives has turned them into this evil, vile, little, repulsive, little, envious little twats out there who are just there. They're those green. They're literally green with envy from the anime, Full Metal Alchemist, the little green, the envy himself. Where he shrank down to the little green little thing, little worm, and that's all they are. And for me, it's just Go on.
Sorry, I thought he was making a reference to legalistic 90s game shows, but no.
No, I was not.
Go ahead.
No, I was not. I almost. I did think of it, but quickly. But no, it's for me, it's like I just stay out of it. Is that a coward's way? Maybe. That's people can say that to me. I don't care, because
you've got to protect your mental health as well, and it's exhausting.
Yeah, that's ultimately what it is. It is exhausting. And I'd rather just protect my mental health and just like, if I need to rant, I know I can call on you or even my partner or other friends I have to just rant. Like, and the same goes for you guys and everything. If you've seen something you just want to talk or rant like hell, anytime you can hit me up and I'll listen to you and whatnot. And it's just, that's basically how it is for me. It's just like, for me, I'm going to protect me and, for me, my friends and family in the best way I can. I would say to everybody, like, I can see where, like what you were saying, Amy, you could just get off social media altogether. But you shouldn't have to at the same time. You should be allowed to be on there.
Social media is the reason the three of us is sitting here right now talking and actually friends.
There's no doubt about that.
Get off social media isn't helpful. Like advice, like you know what I mean. Like I've scaled it back. I barely post anymore.
Yeah.
But like that kind of sucks because I miss posting. But the problem is every time I post, as a person of who I am, it's like it's like walking through a minefield. It's like, is this a post where I'm going to step on a mine? But like the ignoring it thing, like the thing with you just brought up there with the main Khalif and J.K. Rowling, it's like, the main Khalif has sued J.K. Rowling and she hasn't tweeted for 14 days. But do you know what I've heard about every single fucking day since she stopped tweeting? J.K. Rowling not tweeting. And I think we need to apply a lesson there to the way we treat these people, which is like, maybe if we stopped posting about them every single fucking hour, they might actually shut up, or at the very least, we might actually stop fucking hearing about them every day. Because, like,
sadly,
I've heard about J.K. Rowling every single fucking day since she stopped tweeting. And I know you guys are frozen and you can't hear this part, but I guess you've got the point that I was trying to make, which is, yes, she shut up, so let's stop talking about it. And I think we can apply that 100%. To people like Grums, for example, where it's just like, I don't need to see every dumb fucking thing that comes out of that person's mouth. Or out of his thumbs, I guess. Like, I don't need to see everything Grum says. Like, stop posting it. to dunk on it. But like the place where that kind of falls apart is like when it turns into harassment and death threats against someone, because I feel like that is something that does need to be stood up against. You know what I mean? Like they're making the fake screenshots of Rebecca Valentine's review that she never wrote, and she's getting a lot of death threats. It's like, okay, well, how do we actually stand up to that? Like, just because Grumps is being an idiot about Monster Hunter Wilds, I don't need to know about that. I don't think anybody needs to know about that. Let him fucking be a weirdo in his own little corner of the internet with all his little weirdo fucking friends, and let's just be over here, like not doing any of that. But it's not really a solution.
There is, like I said, there's no solution. For me, the solution for us is to be a champion of good in the best way we can. Champion the good stuff out there. Of light, basically. Yeah, champion the good shit. And literally we see, like we've said on multiple occasions, when we like we talk about films or reviews or TV shows and everything like that, we ain't going, Colin, you're fucking wrong to know about that episode, man. That was just the worst episode ever, and these are the reasons why, type of thing. No, we just go, I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's fantastic. You know, it's like that's how it all is about, and it's the same goes for everything. That's what I think. That's the best way to do it. We don't criticize. We have a discussion, but we don't go, well, you're wrong in all these ways, and that's how it is. And we champion for all the other things, but at the same time, we're not going to hide away from the crap stories like what we brought up today on the first two stories. The first two stories we've had, it's like we're not going to hide away from it. But if like anyone who like wants to chat to us and everything like that, hit us up. We'll always be there for positivity and whatnot in the best way we can. Yes, sometimes we have bad days. Like we all have bad days.
I've had a bad week.
Yeah, and everything. But like we all turn up here. And like sometimes, like I've mentioned on multiple occasions, like I've mentioned, I've had a bad week sometimes, and like big things like people don't know and everything like, but Vitz and Amy know, like there's shit going on in my life, like I don't want to talk about right now, and I can't. There's one thing I really can't right now. Yes,
don't talk about it.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to.
Look, as your lawyer, I'm going to advise you to stop talking.
No, but this is the thing about it, like, you know, like, but we're there for each other, and that's all we can do for the listeners out there. If you do truly like listening to us, like, thank you. Honestly, it is a privilege. Even though I don't consider myself content creators, I bash on content creators all the fucking time. I really do. I'm not the biggest fan of them and everything. But at the same time, like for me, this is just meeting up with two friends to have a chat. That's how it is and everything. And if people who listen to us love that, I'm all for that and everything.
And occasionally doing things she doesn't like in the name of charity.
Exactly.
And that is a great segue into our halftime break. We'll do an indie game of the week after the halftime break. But let's kick it over to past Vitz and his pre-recorded advert for our charity fundraiser.
What's good, everybody? I hope you're having the best day. The Words About Games podcast is fundraising for the fabulous team over at Special Effect. If you didn't know, Special Effect is a charity that transforms the lives of physically disabled people all over the world through innovative use of technology. The heart of their work is the mission to maximize fun by helping people control video games to the best of their abilities. They're bringing families and friends together, having a profoundly positive impact in quality of life, confidence, and rehabilitation. Amy, Moody, and I have been working on a number of streams to bring you a whole host of shows, games, shenanigans, and more. Everything from ranking Resident Evil, becoming the noble team in Halo Reach, and finding our competitive streak in legally distinct and 90s game shows. We've got several more charity streams in the works, and with your help, we can get there. Special Effect is a charity near and dear to our hearts, and we'd love your support in raising as much money as possible to bring the joy of video games to so many more people. Simply click on the link in the description below of wherever you're enjoying this podcast, or scan the QR code you see now. That will take you to our Just Giving page, where you can learn more and donate. If you're not in a position to donate, that's more than okay. Times are tough and we understand. Please consider sharing our Just Giving page on social media. It will help spread the word and the work that we're doing. Thanks for listening, and for now, let's get back to the podcast.
And are we back? We're back. I'm still getting used to everything being in different places. It's like, wait, where's the timer? Where's the button? Where's the thing? Let's do a quick indie game of the week.
Hell yeah.
This is the thing we do every week where we talk about a cool looking upcoming indie game. Seen a lot of trailers flying around because it's Gamescom. probably be seeing a lot of those popping up over the next few weeks, next couple of months. This one is from Gamescom. It's called Hela. Become a brave mouse familiar in a heartwarming 3D adventure through stunning Scandinavian landscapes. Solve puzzles, explore, and brew magic potions to find a cure for your befriended witch. Experience a healing journey like no other. And there's some features. I love features with bullet points because they're easy to read. Freely explore a Scandinavian village in all its dimensions. Use a magical backpack for resource gathering, interacting with objects, or gliding through the air. Engage with items based on realistic physics. Brew potions and upgrade your abilities. Face ever-changing weather conditions. Discover story fragments in any order you choose. Solve engaging puzzles. Perform acts of kindness and feel their healing impact. Looks
How lovely is that?
gorgeous as well. Like, you should check out. You ever play this game called Unravel? Like, this game looks like Unravel. There's the. I'll update that link in the doc. This is for last week's game. But there will be a link to this game in the description wherever you're listening to this podcast. Click it, check the game out, check the trailer out, check the screenshots out, check the Steam store page out, and most importantly, wishlist the game. If you like indie games, you want to go down to that description, we have a whole Ask Steam Curator page where we have a massive list of over 100 previous indie games of the week. You should click on that. Go have a look at all the cool indie games that we've suggested you wishlist over the past year, 2 years, 3 years. I don't know how long we've been doing this.
And as Amy alluded to, there was obviously Gamescom happened this week, and they had their indie showcase kind of the day after opening night live, and I'm sure that a lot of those will be popping up in our little indie game of the week section here, and I'm sure we'll touch on Gamescom at some point, but
I doubt it. Like, can I just be real with you? Like, as an event itself, I don't know if we're gonna do that.
Oh no, sorry. I meant in the schemes they're talking about the indie games which were discussed, which were like kind of unveiled there. We got more details on and things like that.
Yeah. Like, I'll see trailers and they'll probably have come from Gamescom, but like, I genuinely like, I've fulfilled the promise I made to myself, during. During our podcast last year where we talked about the Game Awards, of being like, I'm not going anywhere near any more Keighley events, and that is just kind of filtered out into I'm just not going near any of these events anymore.
Yeah,
I'm very happy for all of the devs that like get to show off their work and people get to see their cool games and stuff, but like I'm just so like happy to be out of the hype circuit. Like, I've broken free. I feel like I'm free. But I still like to hype up cool looking upcoming indie games. So
100%. Moody, what's happening in the world of Pokemon?
I don't know anything about this. This is going to be fascinating.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be as fascinating as you think. I'm not going to lie. It's just I just didn't want to talk about Gamescom or Jeff Keighley and whatnot. So basically, I just thought, all right,
just
I'll
for
talk about this.
context, we got a message off Moody on Monday night, which was, I'm probably going to want to talk about Gamescom, and like, I never replied to that, but like, I was like, do you know the Ben Affleck picture where he's like smoking a cigarette and he looks sick of his life? That was my like in real life physical reaction to that. But I was like, it's fine. Like, it's fine. We'll talk about some cool games. It's all good. And then he messaged like either the next night or the night after, which was like, I want to talk about Pokemon. And I was like, okay. Are we talking about eating them again? Like, no.
That was a fun topic.
That was an interesting topic. But
well, we don't know if Pokemon were eaten at the World Championships. We'll find out.
No, the fascinating part is like I always have context for anything that you guys want to talk about, but with this, I've got no context.
Well, you have a little bit of context in what I said. It's like a lot of people are complaining that the lack of Pokemon's ZA news at the Pokemon World Championships that happened over this weekend. Congratulations to all the new winners and everything like that. Well done.
Question from the press pool.
I don't know if I can answer this, but okay.
At previous World Championships, have they been like? Is there a part of the show like a small showcase into upcoming games? Is this something that was expected, or is this something that was just wished for by the community? Do you know?
I think it was more wishful thinking, but I also don't 100% know at the same time. When it comes to like the Pokemon World Championships, like I've only started really paying attention. That was since like last year, and that was more because of one of the videos that YouTube videos that I saw and watched a few times a lot. What made me want to say I need 40 grand to go to Japan and everything for it. But Amy knows the video I'm talking about. But no,
something did happen at the Pokemon World Championships.
Please
continue with what you wanted to talk about, and I will bring it up later.
No, but it's so I've seen this is all on YouTube. Don't know what the discourse was online on the socials or anything like that, but I've seen like a lot of Pokemon content creators like coming out and like saying like, what the hell, no Pokemon ZA news and everything like that. I don't know if we were ever going to get anything. I honestly didn't think we would.
That was kind of my leading question. So where were these World Championships held?
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Hawaii.
Cool.
Yeah. Like the biggest controversy is like something that you brought up, Vitz, is like they've said where the next two World Championships are going to be next year and the year after that, which is in California, two places in California.
Anaheim and San Francisco for those.
Yeah, thank you. Which I think there's a definitive reason why that is. I think whenever the generation, what generation are we at? Are we generation 10 now? I can't remember. Whatever the next generation is, mainline Pokemon game is, which isn't a Legends game. I think that like the last region I think was off Spain, I think, and like the region before that, like Sword and Shield, was Britain. Like they had Pokemon London a few years ago, which I think was around the time when Sword and Shield was coming out, which so made sense to me and everything. So this so I think the region is like probably looking like some like going to be somehow incorporated with California. That's why my consensus on that, but that's not why I want to talk about Pokemon. It's basically just people complaining of like the lack of Pokemon ZA news, and my opinion on it is I honestly didn't think we were going to get anything because one, people should be happy that they're not talking about it for me, because like the last three games Pokemon Game Freak released, which was Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which was sourced out to another company. Then they did obviously Pokemon Legends Arceus, and then Pokemon Violet and Scarlet and Violet.
Yep.
All
Violet,
three
Scarlet,
games.
and
Violet. All three games.
Made it violent. What happened?
The game wanted to make me violent in parts, let me tell you.
Exactly.
That's true. Made me not complete it. All three games have done incredibly well financially, which was always going to happen. It's a Pokemon game, it was always going to happen. But all have deserved criticisms of the game. Like Legend, at least on Legends and Scarlet and Violet, the performance on both of those games is really bad, especially Scarlet and Violet. Like they pushed themselves, Game Freak pushed themselves and probably crunched so badly on those two games alone, because obviously they sourced out Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond to another company, where that one is the more polished game from it, where like we've seen it on many occasions, like they released Legends and Scarlet and Violet in the same year. 2022, 2023. When it was it last year?
22.
Yeah, it was 2023, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't
2022. Anyway, I don't care. Like, when it came out, and it's like, and it's still broken to this day, especially Scarlet and Violet, which is insane. I started playing the bug again. I was thinking, no, I can't. I didn't even get far. And I was thinking, no, I just can't do this. Why? But even way, and it's just, I'm like, be happy that they aren't talking. Be happy. You don't want to them talking right now. For me, they shouldn't be want to show anything on this. But also, I think it's like Nintendo have locked them down to basically say, you're not talking about this. We allowed you to reveal it, and that is it. When we talk next, that is when you will talk. So basically, that's what I believe. I don't know this or anything like that. I don't know anything from like things I've heard in the industry and anything like that. This is just my personal belief. It's just like, and people should be happy by this. Like, going off what the belief is now is that the next Switch console is going to be like summer sometime in 2025, which is great. I don't care when it really comes. It's going to come. We know it's coming. I don't care when it comes.
I'm gonna hang my hat on it right now. I'm gonna shoot my shot.
November 2026,
September 2025.
Okay, that's interesting. But either way, like for me, it's like the longer it gets delayed, the greater this game could potentially be, and people should be happy about this. Like they rushed out 2 games that were not ready at all for release.
That's such a weird thing when you think about, like, sorry to butt in.
No,
like it's such a weird thing when you think about Nintendo's vibes in general, right? Like they're the company that will hold on to a game to release it at the right time so that it will make the maximum impact. Like they'll hold on to Tears of the Kingdom for a year to polish it, to make sure it's like perfectly polished. Yet when it comes to Pokemon and like I know there's a whole thing like surrounding it, but like Pokemon is a Nintendo brand, like in the consciousness of the minds of like the general people. It's like the opposite is true, where it's like there constantly seems like they're rushing like Pokemon games. I just find that fascinating.
And that's just because Nintendo don't have a choice. They don't choose when the game gets really released.
Maybe they should.
Yeah, 100%.
But maybe they are now. Maybe they've like said, okay, yeah, you guys made a ton of money. We sold a lot of consoles. That's fantastic, especially the Scarlet and Violet version of it, of the Nintendo Switch that for it. Like they probably sold a lot for that, and which is fantastic. I'm trying to fucking find one. It's very difficult.
Tell me about
Not cheap. Not cheap, at least.
She says, pointing at her Zelda games. Tell me about it.
That's funny. No, and I'm just like, this is what we should be having. This is what we want. Don't rush them at the end of the day. I don't care what the starters are whenever they reveal this game. For me, they'll reveal it when Nintendo reveal the Switch, because I truly believe this is going to be a launch title. Like I'll stand by that. But also like this also helps the Switch players who won't transfer up to the Switch 2 straight away, or won't be able to financially, or just they'll be like they're all sold out in 10 seconds. So like this gives the Switch version, which we all know is going to happen as well. Like there's going to be 2 versions of this game, and it gives them a chance to say, okay, we can get this a little bit more polished than we did for Scarlet and Violet and Legends Arceus. And yeah, I just like this isn't like a shout out, an attack on the people who've like were disappointed. Like I feel for those people, especially the ones in the UK who stayed up really late to watch the finale of the Pokemon TCG and then see the Game Freak CEO come on, and he's just like, yeah. He said, we're in California in the next 2 years. Peace out, guys.
Look at this palm tree.
Yeah,
no, like
home of the Mighty Ducks.
I think it not the film, it's the team. I hate it. Yeah. Anaheim Ducks. But I think it's like goes to what I was just jokingly talking about before we started talking about Pokemon, which is just like break out of the hype cycle. Like trust me. Yes. Trust me. Like I know you've got no reason to trust me. Like you watching this out there, but not
with these allegations you being a thief.
Not with these allegations of me being a console thief, but screaming about Twitter. But like breaking out of that cycle of hype has been like one of the best things that I've done for myself this year. Of like not constantly like seeing all of the latest information about the video games and seeing all the latest information about trailers, like, ooh, what's hot, what's new, and like stepping back from all of that and just like taking games as they come, right? Mm-hmm. And it just feels great. Like I'm excited for games. There's games that are coming out that I'm excited for. Like I really want like Blueprints like now. Like they still haven't announced a release date, and I would really like a release date. Thank you very much. Is it going to be this year? Just let me know if I need to put this on the back burner of my mind or not. But I digress. Like I think it's the same thing with Pokemon. I get wanting like information about something that you love and being disappointed about not getting it, but like you build up your own expectations for that, and like knowing nothing about Pokemon. And like how Pokemons are generally revealed and like how information generally comes out about them, like seeing a Pokemon World Championships and like there's no part of my brain that will be like, oh, we'll get some Pokemon ZA news. It's because in my head I'm just like, no, that's not where we would get news from.
Yeah.
Like there'd be a direct. There would just be a direct, a Pokemon direct or a Nintendo direct. But like, and there is that part of like you build up yourself up to be disappointed.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's even what I was doing. I spent most of the first half of this year and a lot of last year just complaining nonstop about all of the different video game conferences and showcases and directs and the qualities of all of them. And then I just stopped watching them.
Yeah.
And my life was not negatively impacted by this. And I still get all of the cool stuff out of them. Like we just talked about a cool looking indie game that was a Gamescom game. Like I've seen cool things from Gamescom, but I didn't sub for myself to go through all of the other stuff. Like watching like I saw Civ 7 got announced for February next year. That's sick.
Yep.
Now that's not in my calendar now. Like I'm looking forward to playing that. I was talking about it with Keith before. But like I didn't have to go through like I don't know what was there. But like the things that
for Pete Molyneux.
Yeah, I heard about Pete Molyneux's back apparently, like to scam more people out of money. But like, I didn't have to suffer through that. It was great.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I'm trying not to be like too high horse about this and being like, just be more like me, guys. I've got it figured out because no, I don't have it figured out.
Yeah, I to your point, like the Pokemon fan base is one of the most rabid fan bases I know, kind of thing. When they love a Pokemon, they love a Pokemon. And the way I see it going, and obviously the timescales might shift depending on what Nintendo do, but say in October, if we just follow the pattern that the original Switch launch kind of thing, if in October this year we get a Nintendo Direct and it's a formal announcement of the Switch successor, and then there might be a tease trailer at the end or somewhere within that trailer of Pokemon ZA, and then there'll be the announcement on social media from the Pokemon channels to say, tune in for, hey trainers, tune in next week for a deeper look into ZA, and that's when you'll get the news. And whether that happens in October or January or whenever it is, I think that's the kind of rollout schedule, because
I agree.
You announce it as part of the Nintendo package of this is the Switch 2 or whatever it happens to be, and then we'll get further information next week, kind of thing. But yeah, you are setting yourselves up for failure, and I get that it feels awesome to get wrapped up in the hype and get really excited, but then when you're there at 4:00 in the morning watching Pokemon Worlds, and then get disappointed when the Game Freak dude comes out and then doesn't say anything. Yeah, I get that. You're crestfallen, and anger is an acceptable emotion to that, but you've got to temper those expectations when you go into these things, and hopefully these people will have learned a lesson, just to say, okay, when the next Worlds comes around, or even if we don't get an announcement this year or any further information, say it's okay, because the game will be ready when it's ready, kind of thing. And Pokemon aren't going anywhere. There's a million other Pokemon IP.
If you look in Moody's video camera, just to his right, you can see like a lot of things that you could play to tide you over. Because I believe that's his Pokemon shelf, and they're all Pokemon games and a Game Boy.
And
all of them, yep.
Yeah. And it's just like, that's cool, man. Like, if you want to tide yourself over with Pokemon, there's a lot of options. Like, and replaying games is fun. Like, I've been doing it a bit this year. Or play, like, there's a few Pokemon-like games now, right? Like, Temtem was a thing. I don't know, that still exists.
Temtem Pal World.
Pal World, yeah. But like, just
got a Palamon.
Occupy yourself with something. If you occupy yourself with something else, then when the news does come, it'll be like, oh shit, here it is.
Yeah.
It'll be here before you know it.
And I imagine, dear listener, the Pokemon fans out there, you have tastes other than Pokemon as well, and there's plenty of things else to enjoy.
Like
as
Dino
well.
Crisis.
Exactly.
I have to base all of, like, I just have to imagine that all Pokemon fans are like Moody, because Moody's the only like Pokemon super fan that I actually know. So I assume like all Pokemon fans like Dino Crisis, all Pokemon
Funko
fans
Pops.
love Funko Pops. And their favorite game is Final Fantasy IX.
Speaking of a new Funko Pop, I got Greninja.
Hey,
That's a Pokemon?
that's a Pokemon.
Yeah, it's a Pokemon.
All right.
I think. Yeah, it's Pokemon.
Yes, it's Greninja.
But
It's from the X and Y era, Carlos region.
and And there's Pokemon Sleep, Pokemon Smile, Pokemon Cafe. There's all these other Pokemon games and entertainment things you can be enjoying yourself with in the meantime. And the news will come, and when it comes, it comes. And for now, I think Moody's most salient point that he said was, congrats to everybody who won at Worlds, and commiserations to those who didn't win. And I'm sure you did great. I didn't watch it.
Apparently, the matches were awesome. Apparently, and I was just like, interesting. I might have to have a look at this.
Nice. Take it from a Hollow Knight fan. You don't want to get too wrapped up in new information about this game. Trust me.
At least Team Cherry knows just to shut the fuck up, and they haven't said anything else.
Please, just one drop of water. I'm dying. Yeah.
That's it.
But yeah, no. So I googled Pokemon World Championship 2024. When you started talking about it, it'd be like, did anything actually happen? And I found a news story, and I'm going to read a part of it. This is from This is from Video Game Criminals Metro Game Central.
Wow.
But this is where the news story is from. American Ian Robb had reached the quarterfinals when he faced off against Fernando Cifuentes from Chile, a game that he eventually won to see him through to the next stage. At least that's what everyone thought. But soon after his win, Robb was disqualified, while Cifuentes progressed to the semi-finals instead. Fans on social media later found a clip of Robb doing what looks like a rude gesture while looking at someone off screen during his match against Cifuentes. And there's a 3-second clip where you see Ian Robb, and he's just like on the stream, and he just goes, and he got disqualified. And I'm like, goddamn.
Interesting.
Unlucky.
Yeah.
You win a lot of money at these things, right?
I believe so.
Like if you're in the semi-finals and stuff, right? Like this guy, this person, probably got was probably. I'd imagine you'd be a bit upset with yourself in that moment, right? It's like you do the thing, and then it's like you get disqualified from the semis, and it's like, damn.
And like, I'm not sure if this is a thing because it's Pokemon. Like, but if he had personal sponsors attached to him who like fund his travel to all these events and whatnot, and then he gets disqualified by.
Oops.
Yeah, exactly.
It reminds me of when I used to watch Overwatch League, and like I used to fight because it was the weird esports league where it was like the teams were geographically based. Did you see it?
Yeah.
No, I saw Moody's reaction is something there.
I saw clips of it, but I didn't see the thing.
So the winners of the Pokemon TCG and the Video Game World Championships. They win. They win obviously the title of World Championship and a beautiful trophy, along with around $500,000.
Oh, you good! You've got to be good if you're this guy. But also, Moody, get on this fucking Pokemon World Championship train.
I've been trying to get the TCG game out on the online app. It's not bad. It's actually a lot easier to get into.
$500,000.
It's a lot easier to understand than fucking Yu-Gi-Oh.
How many Funko Pops you could buy with that?
You could $500,000. You could make at least 10 trips to Japan.
This is what she's saying.
Only tenner.
Yeah, well, but based on your own budget.
You can fly around to each of the world championships and get the exclusive Pikachu, which I'm sure there is. Like he's dressed in different outfits this time.
I've seen the bastards. I'm just like, oh my god, dude, that's okay.
That's a chunk of change. But anyway, the Overwatch League story. So like all the teams were geographically based. So I supported the London Spitfires because they were the UK team, even though and all the players were from Korea, but that's fine. And they were all really talented. Like I don't know if you know this. Tangent within a tangent. The first season of the Overwatch League took place. The finals took place around the same time as one of the football tournaments. So for fucking weeks and weeks and weeks, it was it's coming home, and then it never came home.
Yes.
And then just after the final of the football tournament, the London Spitfires won the Overwatch League. And I was like, oh, well, someone brought it home. But that was a great season of esports. Like, it was so good. But one of the London players got fined because they were on the live stream and they had their player cams. And Birdring, one of the London players, flipped off one of his teammates just as they cut to his cam. But all that did was make everybody like him more.
Yeah. These things are built on personality.
He was a top tier player. Like that squad they had for London for that first season. I miss Overwatch League. It was so good, and then the meta just flattened the whole experience. There's probably a whole story in there, but I don't want to go through it. It's depressing. Not as depressing as doing the thing and losing potentially $500,000, but
yeah, that's gonna stink.
yeah, goes all the way back to the first story about things you can't do on the stream, right? It's like none of that, no.
So Moody, if you do get to champs,
behave.
Don't be doing any of that.
If you lose, go for it.
Yeah. Flip the table, do it all.
Flip the fucking table.
Throw the kid you're playing against.
Throw all the cards.
Do it all.
Gambit style. Just start throwing cards at people.
Yeah, grab the mic. I liked Yu-Gi-Oh better anyway.
Pokemon sucks.
Fuck you. I'm going to Magic the Gathering.
Don't do that.
No, I'm going to One Piece. They've just released a card game, which apparently is really good. I was like, I'm going to One Piece, motherfucker.
Don't go to Magic the Gathering. It's not worth it. It's not it's not worth the cost monetarily or the cost to your soul. Trust me. I have first-hand experience. Actually, it's a fun game to play with friends, as long as you don't get too competitive with it.
Yeah.
We were in this arms race. Me, Keith, and Russ. We used to play against each other all the time. We ended up getting locked into this arms race where we just kept buying cards and making our decks more powerful. And I think at some point we just broke it and it wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah, because the one thing I know about you is that you are a competitive person.
When did you find this out?
Way of saying it as well.
How did you find this outfit?
Competitive, vengeful, evil,
potential thief.
It's like I'm all right. Look, maybe I am a potential console thief, but all of those other things
admits it almost.
All of those things, other things aren't normally true. Like, I'm normally like pretty chill and pretty whatever. Like Moody was saying, like we talk about stuff and it's fine. Yeah. But if you put me in that competition space,
when it's game time,
and I have
to win,
and it's like there's a winner and a loser. Yeah. It's like I'm gonna be the winner.
That's it.
And if I'm not, woo-hoo-hoo. Speaking of which,
we felt that as well.
We've got a stretch goal up right now on our Just Giving page for a Halo deathmatch free for all. Mm-hmm. It'd be great if you hit that because either way, you're gonna get some peak Amy content. I feel like.
Yeah, I was saying off stream. So when we went to the Science Museum and into that video game exhibition, there was a 16-person setup for, I believe it was Halo 2. It might have been Halo 3, but like a deathmatch going on. So our friends and I jumped on, and I finished third in that. So I'm not saying I were a gamer or anything like that, because I think most of them were children who jumped off the controller soon after.
It's better to be kids, because kids are supposedly really great at games. You see this badge here?
The Xbox one?
No,
yeah.
There's like a patch stuck to the thing. It's not very well lit up, but it's a Titanfall patch. And I got that from EGX the first year I went. Like, we was queued up to play Titanfall. Russ was there. And, we queued up, you go through the tutorial thing, and then it's like, right, cool, everybody's in. We're doing 6v6, I think it was, of a game that no one's played. And, like, I smoked everybody. Like, I got that patch because I was the MVP of the game. And I was like, this is great. Russ went back every day after to try and get that patch because he couldn't handle the fact that I got the patch.
Oh, my God. Now there are two of them. There's two competitive souls.
The next year, we played Killzone. Shadowfall, I think it was the next year. It might be, actually, no, it was the same year, because it was the year before, it was the year the PS4 came out. I played Killzone Shadowfall, and again,
2014, yeah.
Obliterated my competition. And he gets mad at stuff like that.
Hey, You're a competitive soul. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
But I would have been mad if he had got the patch and I hadn't. I don't know if I would have queued up for the game 3 more times, but I definitely would have been salty.
Yeah.
um,
Dear friend, we got the salty edge after legally losing 90s game shows. Don't you worry.
damn right, you did.
I know that was in jest as well.
It was in jest, yeah.
It was a bit you were playing, absolutely. But no, yeah.
Or
if we
was
do
it?
get to that deathmatch, I'm sure there'll be shenanigans aplenty.
Okay, I think you get scores even just doing the co-op campaign, so we'll see what happens there. But anyway, let's kick it over to the final segment of this podcast.
Sure.
OpenCritic Head-To-Head. This is the game we play every week, where we try to guess the OpenCritic average of upcoming games. Whoever guesses closest to the score at the time of recording, or I guess at the time that we start recording anyway, you get a point. If you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. A couple of weeks ago, we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of Alexi Man. This is the indie game that Amy fell in love with at Steam Next Fest, where you cast spells by making words. Love that kind of thing. I guessed it would get an 88. I might love it a bit too much. Moody guessed it would get a 75. Vitz guessed it would get an 82. At the time of recording, Leximan has an OpenCritic average of 80, which means Vitz gets a point.
Yay!
I still didn't get this. Like, I have, like, because I've lapsed a bit on playing games over the last month or so, like, I now have, like, this backlog of games that I'm intending to play. So I need to sort of like sort through that and be like, okay, like what am I into right now? Like, I've really cleared it out though. The list is only something like 9 games long, and I think of games that have confirmed release dates for this year, I think I've only added like 4 games that aren't out yet. So I'm doing really well.
We're doing that for September, so for me personally, I know we've spoken about this offline.
September's
so
a bad
things
one.
Like
yeah.
the Plucky Squire, we've got Astrobot, we've got Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom stuff coming out.
September's a bad month.
Yeah, it's gonna be a busy old month.
But to be fair, Moody
Astrobot
will remember the days when I was playing close to 100 games a year. And that is not an exaggeration. He saw the lists. And now I'm playing like half that, and not all of those games are new games. So
yeah.
And I'm enjoying it a lot more. Again, it's that high horse. But anyway, we also tried to guess the OpenCritic average of Tactical Breach Wizards. This is a game that's also on that backlog list I was talking about. Vitz, you guessed it would get a 75. I guessed it would get an 84. Moody guessed it would get a 76. At the time of recording, Tactical Breach Wizards has an OpenCritic average of 86. When the reviews dropped, it had 84, and I was like, yeah, 2 points, baby. And then it went up, and I was like, I mean, I can't be mad about this, but I can be a little bit mad about this. But I still get a point. We also try to guess the OpenCritic average of Concord, but it's not out until today, and it's a live service game. Yeah. So we'll see where that goes. So the scores on the Dorks. I was trying to do docks but doors but make it rhyme, and I said dorks. The scores on the Dorks.
Exactly.
Amy 20, Moody 34, Vitz 15 with 5 draws. I think you've crushed draws at this point.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it was neck and neck for a long time there. But I think you've crushed them. Anyway, we've got 3 games to talk about this week. 3 games to guess the OpenCritic average of. The first one is World of Warcraft, this little indie game that no one's probably, very few people out there have heard of. It's a very niche game.
Sure. Yeah. So it's Moody to go first on World of Warcraft: The War Within.
It sure is. Once he's... You can stop typing me. I'm just going to delete it.
Yeah.
I got the point.
There you go.
Yeah, this is World of Warcraft: The War Within. Moody, what do you think?
There's a whole lot of WoW. A whole lot of anniversaries are celebrating. Apparently, Warcraft is 30. World of Warcraft is 20.
Is it 20?
Hearthstone is 10.
Wow. You know
I
what?
have no idea when it comes to these games whatsoever. 85.
I played World of Warcraft in beta. I started playing in the beta.
Nice.
And they did this thing when the beta was over. They didn't just turn the beta off. like the world ended.
Wow.
And that was how they
Everything got
ended the
wiped.
beta. Yeah, everything got wiped because like you ran around and once you died, you died. That was it. You were out.
Yeah.
And monsters were spawning everywhere, and it was so fucking cool. It was such a cool way to end the beta. You're telling me that was 20 years ago? Fuck.
Yeah. All right then. So I'm up next, and okay, dear listener, are we gonna go tactical or okay? Let's go
Ooh,
80.
boring.
Let's go 87.
Boring.
Hey, I didn't go 86.
87, did you say?
Yeah.
Tactical's boring. I don't even remember what the last World of Warcraft expansion was.
Yeah, neither do I. I didn't even look. I was just like, you know what? Just pick a number.
Pick a number. Any number is good.
I mean, I used to love I know liked World of Warcraft. And I spent more or less an entire console generation playing GameCube multiplayer games in a living room with other people, you know. But like 3 games: Sims 2, Halo 2, and World of Warcraft. Like I missed so much of like the Xbox, PS2, GameCube era because of those 3 games. Fuck, that's high. I'm not stalling for time. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, of course not. No.
Would I do that?
You're regaling us the tales of World of Warcraft betas and all sorts.
Well, I have Tales. I have Tales of,
I know,
of World of
that's
Warcraft. Like I played that game for almost 2 years. I raided, I did all sorts of cool shit in that game. I was with a guild and they were like, "Oh, you need to stop." I was a DPS character and they were like, "You need to stop doing so much damage so quickly." Like, because I was drawing
That's
the
what
aggro
DPS
away from the
does.
tank, and I was like, "You know, you just need a tank bear."
There you go.
And then I got
I'm
kicked
not
out
the
of the
problem. You are.
and then I got kicked out of the guild.
I wonder how that happened.
But then I joined a guild that could keep up with me.
Right. Were you Alliance or Horde?
Horde. Oh, of course I was Horde. Oh,
Sorry,
shitty lines.
apparently that was a silly question.
That
to
was a
ask.
silly question. I was Horde all the way. I was an undead with a purple mohawk.
Hell yeah.
And I was a rogue who had 2 swords. To be fair, I mostly played PvP a lot. Like in the most annoying way possible, where it was like I was a stun lock rogue. So like you were fighting me, you were getting stunned. And then you were unstunned, and I'd stun you again.
Yeah.
And then you were unstunned, and I'd stun you again, and then you were dead. But like you could stack, because it was capture the flag, which is such a weird thing for a PvP thing in World of Warcraft. But like you could stack sprint, because Rogue had an ability to sprint, and then you could have like boots, and then you could have like something else. So you could stealth into the flag room, pick the flag up, and then if you hit all of the sprints like one after the other, you could sprint from their flag room to your flag room at sprint speeds. And yeah, I used to do that as well. I used to be a menace, is what I'm saying.
It's like they used to be.
Well, I don't play the game anymore. I'm sure if I still played the game, I would be a menace.
Oh, yeah.
The only people I menace now are you two.
And boy, do we love it.
I was going to say, how long are you going to keep stalling there?
I'm not stalling. I had my number for a while. I enjoyed talking about World of Warcraft.
Okay.
Apparently, it's 20 years old. Maybe when it's the 20th anniversary, I'll do a little podcast topic about the olden days. But for now, we're going to move on.
Yeah, just to recap, you went with score with 81.
Yes, I said that right. I think I said.
I know, but we were all talking over each other. So I just
81.
wanted to give a little recap.
It's time to do Star Wars Outlaws. This game is definitely not stirred controversy with people we've been talking about earlier in this podcast because of a woke jawlines or some shit.
If it just was for the egregious way of how Ubisoft have like put stuff behind paywalls and everything like that, I can understand it and everything like that. Like being hating on them and everything like that. But for
their graphic, I saw that graphic with the table,
on the table.
Things. I noticed that they added one at the end where it's like, if you pay $14.99 a month, you can get access to the Ultimate Edition and 100+ games on Ubisoft Plus.
It's not a bad thing that if you think about it, if you just pay for the $14.99. Play the game, then unsubscribe
Smash the
again.
game for a month. It's like,
Yeah, it's not a bad
That's still
thing.
$14.99 going into each Gamon's pockets, and
That's
But
40.
actually, it's
Yeah.
but that's cheaper than $70 or 70 quid.
Well, no, because you would get
Over
the
here.
Ultimate Edition, so it's like 100 plus. It's like 130, $40 or
You're
something.
even saving even more money, really. There,
And
but
it's
either way,
like,
I digress.
it's like if I wanted to play Outlaws, like I definitely would probably do that
yeah,
because that's giving them less money.
yeah. Or you just do what me and Amy do, and that's rent from Boomerang.
Or that, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to play it.
Yeah. Star Wars 81.
Damn it! How did you read my mind? How did you do it?
And one I said 8, and the other one said 1. And I was thinking, she ain't gonna go 18.
All right, Vitz, it's your turn to guess. Try now, suckers.
So, what is the critical reception to Star Wars Outlaws gonna be? Let's go with a. Let's go with a. Frick. 83, please.
Like, I don't have any like classic stories about Star Wars Outlaws because it's a new game.
We have stories about.
I have a lot of stories about. I have a lot of stories about old Star
Survive.
Wars games.
Yep.
I love old Star Wars games. It's great ones. Do you know what's weird though? I can't get into Knights of the Old Republic. Like, since the day it came out on Xbox, the original Xbox, and I tried to play it and I couldn't get into it, and I've tried like 3 or 4 times to get into it. Like since then, like throughout the years, and it's just like I can't. I don't know what it is. I just find it. I just find the game really boring, tedious.
Well, at least the remake got canned, so you won't be like.
Well, no, I was
trying games that
banking on the
won't either.
remake to maybe like be the thing that got me into it, and then they were like, "Oh, there's not happening anymore," and I was like, "Great,
Nope.
thanks very much for that."
Thanks, Embracer, you motherfuckers.
Brace is the worst. You got Embracer 79 because I wanted 81.
Bold. Yeah.
I wanted 81. I was like, up or down? Is it up or down from that?
Mm.
And I need to give draws a chance to catch up to this.
Yeah, there is that.
But yeah, that's it. That's
I'm 10 ahead of draws. I'm 5 points behind Amy. Right. Okay.
yeah. You might catch me. Well, neither of us are catching Moody, but you might catch me for second
yeah, but-
place.
There's a note here. Moody has already won this game in like February. Signed Amy April 25th, 2024, the day before Alien Day.
I stand by it.
There you go.
It's a quick fantasy critic update, right? I have a question to ask Moody. Have you seen those Silent Hill 2 previews?
No,
I have.
This were you shocked as me to see that people seem to be really digging Silent Hill 2?
I almost fell off my chair. I was so
I
shocked.
couldn't believe it. I saw one and I thought, oh, it must be an outlier. And then I was like, no,
Yeah.
everyone seems to be quite positive about this game. Oh dear.
Uh-huh.
Threw my whole worldview upside down.
maybe
Moody
we
might
should
actually
trust
pull
the
this one off.
CEO.
Might cost you a couple of points, that one. I want to say I'm not going to play it, but I'm definitely going to
gonna play
play it.
Yeah, you are. No way, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Even morbid curiosity would bring you to that game.
Morbid curiosity is what's feeling me right now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, fuck's sake. Like, I'm going to waste so much of my time. Like, it's going to be longer. It has to be.
Yep.
It's a AAA
Yeah,
game
they're
in
gonna pad that out,
2024.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
going to be padded to fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck!
You're going to add unnecessary skill trees. It's going to be great.
Oh, God. Oh, no. No, skill trees, please. No. They're talking about, they talked about adding, they're doing all of the original endings. Even the joke ones, which is great because there's an amazing joke ending in Resident Evil, in Silent Hill 2. Which if you haven't seen it, it's phenomenal. But then they're talking like in New Game Plus, we're adding extra endings And I'm like,
Wow.
please don't do this. Because I just have this horrible feeling. Silent Hill 2 is very disconnected from the rest of the series. Like like 3 is a sequel to 1. But apart from that, it's pretty much an anthology series.
Yeah.
I have this horrible feeling that the endings they're going to add in are going to somehow be tied to other Silent Hill games. Because they're going to remake 1 or 3. And like, don't. Begging you. Like, don't do this.
At least you'll do the sensible thing and not, if the game happens to be mediocre, you won't force yourself to play New Game Plus, and you'll just look up the extra endings on YouTube. Or did this just give me the look?
Vitz, I'm starting to think you don't know me as well as I thought you did.
Super competitive, glutton for punishment, possible thief. All right, we're building the picture.
Look, right, Moody's a Pokemon freak.
Uh-huh.
I'm a Silent Hill freak.
I'm a driving in circles freak.
You're a driving game freak, which I realize now we didn't get to talk about those games.
It's all right. We'll
like
talk about it next week.
Like I just skipped over them, and I don't know what happened to my brain there. We'll talk about those next week. Sorry about that, Vitz.
Yeah. Hey, it's all good.
But that's going to do it for this episode of the Words About Games podcast. Thanks very much, everybody, for listening to whatever this was. We'll be back next week, but until then, we've still got Moody and his time to shine. Moody, shine, shine, shine. Shine get. As Mario 64 would say. Nope. Sunshine. Mario Sunshine would say that.
Hey, what up, everybody? Today, be proud of yourself. Why, you may ask? Because we are all proud of you. You know what you did today? You made it. Another day is behind you. Another week has passed. Want to know what else you are? You are special. You deserve the absolute best, and you are truly good enough because you're doing great. We all believe in you. One step at a time, one day at a time, one dream at a time. Now stand up, jump up as high as you can and high five that sky because you made it. You are enough. And live long and prosper.
Bye, everybody.
Big game, do crimes.
Do crimes?
Yeah.
What?
Big game, do crime. Mm-hmm. Like me, allegedly.
Exactly.
Well, apparently, yeah.
That's what everybody keeps saying.